Emilio, I know you got to go here in a minute, so you just cut out whenever you need to, bub. But I want to talk a little bit about DeMarcus Covington, the new defensive line coach. And Jeff Hafley actually had something to say about that hire earlier today as well. Tim, before you put the screen grab up for me, look at this face right here. We need to get this one as a screenshot. Don't look how pissed.
Oh man, that's a good one. That's even better than that one.
It is. They both serve a purpose. That one right there is anger. That one's a what the hell are you talking about? Yeah. Anyway, here we go. Here was Coach Hafley. If you'll pop that back up there for me, Tim, I appreciate it. Here was Coach Hafley talking about DeMarcus Covington, the new defensive line coach for the Green Bay Packers. And I wish I could turn the volume up, guys. It's cranked up. I'll fix it for the podcast, but just turn your TVs up for just a second.
Why the change at D-line coach, and how'd you settle on Covington to replace that role?
Yeah, I'll go more into the second part more than the first. We interviewed a lot of guys, a lot of really good candidates. As soon as the season was done, that's, Matt, myself, and a few other coaches, we sat down and we interviewed a bunch of really good coaches. The style of DeMarcus, how he has taught in a lot of different systems and a lot of different schemes. They've done a lot over there. They're with Coach Belichick and some of the stuff he's done in New England. They've done a lot, and I like the fact that he can coach a bunch of different techniques. He's been involved with a lot of different fronts. I love his demeanor. I love the way he coaches. I love the relationship he has with his players. We did our homework on him. I kind of knew him when I was at BC. They came to practices. I went to practices, so I had a chance to watch him a little bit. Very, very smart, big picture guy, has been a coordinator, right? So he can bring some new ideas, some fresh ideas. I'm big on trying to stay ahead of things, right? So he brings some of that, from their scheme, maybe some of the stuff that we can add in that fits what we do. He just, to me, felt like a great hire, great person, character. And I'm glad that he's here. And I think he's done a really good job. I've sat in a bunch of those meetings now. He's a really good teacher. He's got a great progression on how he teaches. And I think he's very easy to understand. And I think he's done a very good job with those guys.
Love it. So obviously a teacher, first and foremost, it sounds like, is Covington's approach here. Emilio, I know you're going to have to go in a minute. I want to get your take on the surface here. I love what he said about the versatility of the New England Patriots defense. If you guys don't know, it's basically a hybrid defense. Belichick is they can play 4-3 one week, they can play 3-4 the next. That's how it's designed to work. And obviously Belichick isn't there any longer. But Covington, the reason it's important, as we'll talk about here in a second, Covington came up through the coaching ranks. He was handpicked by Bill Belichick to be on his staff. And then when Bill left, he was handpicked by Gerard Mayo to be his defensive coordinator. But let's just talk a second about how important it is to be able to play kind of those hybrid fronts. And not that Hafley will press too deep into it, but it's nice to have somebody on the staff that can implement that if you decide to go in that direction.
Mm-hmm. I think being multiple is going to be huge. I think that the way he did it, Hafley, last year with the the sim pressures, the sim fronts, all that stuff. I think being able to be multiple, even if we are a base 4-3 now, you're going to get yourself in 3-4. You're going to be a 4-2-5. You're going to, what happens if you bring 3 and have 5 stacked behind them, Obviously, there's not a lot of 3-3-5s or anything like that in the NFL, or like a 3-2-6, but you bring in these other options. You want to be able to have all your D linemen do that. And what I liked was when Hafley was also talking there, he was saying, like, I think our D-line, I think our interior D-line's in great shape. We have Kenny, we got Brooks, we got Wyatt, we got Wooden. He goes, there's a lot in there. I think that, we get Covington in there and teaching them, different stances, different takeoffs, engage, twist, stunts. I like that he's also been a D coordinator, and then he's kind of got all those ideas. Another brain to bounce ideas off of for Hafley. And just a guy that, has experience and learned from a go. I mean, even when we listened to that, Coach with Bill and Lombardi and all them on there, even just listening to them talk on a podcast, just so much information there.
Yeah, and Tim, on not just to bounce ideas off of him for Hafley, but also someone, if Hafley does leave next year, let's say the defense solidifies as a top 10, top 5 again, and he goes takes a job somewhere else. We now have, I think, 3 coaches on staff that have been defensive coordinators. At least 2. I think there's 3. I know you got Ansley, you've got Covington. I'm trying to think. I think there was a 3rd somewhere too. I could be wrong, but nonetheless, this is your new run game coordinator too. And I got to say, man, I love the shirt he's sporting in this picture with the family at
Amen.
Gillette. It says trust Jesus with a heart that looks like it's on fire. Absolutely love it. But what do you think, Tim, about anything we just covered, man? Versatility and all that stuff within the scheme.
Yeah, I think this is the Packer way, right? We like versatility in our players. Why not in our coaches? Why not in our scheme approach? Emilio brought up a great point. Yeah, we're a 43 defense, but that doesn't mean that that's etched in concrete. You have to be able to get into different looks, and when you've got a guy like Mr. Covington here, this is what he does, right? I mean, you talked about him running a hybrid defense for a number of years at a championship level. So I'm excited to see him go to work with those guys. Coach Ogobasi still in the mix too. I mean, the D-line group is it's going to be fun to watch this year for sure.
Yeah, it really is, man. And by the way, with his two sons here, we'll talk in greater detail and get into kind of his story. But the one on the right, you could tell he's a sweetheart, right? He's just a kid. This one over here, though, he's gonna be trouble. You can just that's the one that's getting the other brother in trouble all the time. No doubt.
Absolutely.
Here's a deep dive on Coach Covington. The Green Bay Packers have welcomed DeMarcus Covington as their new defensive line coach and run game coordinator, a strategic hire aimed at bolstering their defensive front for the 25 season. With the wealth of experience from his time in New England and a reputation for developing strong defensive units, Covington brings a fresh perspective to Green Bay. This article explores his journey in his personal life and his coaching career, highlighting the path that led him to Lambeau Field. Personal life. DeMarcus Covington was born on March 30th, 1989. He's married to his wife, Natasha, and together they have two sons, Cassius. I hope I'm saying that right. Makes me think of Cassius Clay, which was Muhammad Ali's real name, right? Cassius and Cayman. A native of Birmingham, Alabama, Covington remains deeply connected to his hometown through his nonprofit football camp, Next Level, which he established in 2012. The camp provides a day of football-related drills and activities for the youth of Birmingham, reflecting Covington's commitment to giving back to his community. His dedication to family and community underscores the values he brings to his professional life, fostering a sense of togetherness and discipline that resonates with his coaching philosophy. So here he was coming out of high school. Guys, look at this. He was a 2-star recruit. What do they say? Those who can't teach, right? Guess what? He wasn't good enough to play in the NFL, so here he is teaching, right? That's the way it works. Same thing with Halfley, I guarantee it. Matt LaFleur played quarterback. Wasn't good to play at the NFL. Those who can't teach. That's not a knock. That's just the people who love a profession and they're not quite good enough to play in that profession. They want to be around it. They want to be coaching. They want to be involved, right? It's kind of like what we're doing here. None of us were good enough to play at any extended level. We want to be around the game somehow, some way, right? Yep. And here we are with this sucky show. But anyway, he was 6 foot, 192. He was a wide receiver in the class of 2007 out of John Carroll in Birmingham, Alabama. Had a verbal commitment to Samford. All right, early life growing up in Birmingham, Covington was immersed in a vibrant sports culture that shaped his passion for football. He attended Woodlawn High School is what it's saying. I think there was 2 high schools involved, but John Carroll was the official there in his recruiting status, where he began to hone his athletic skills. His early exposure to the game, combined with a strong work ethic, set the foundation for his future in football. Covington's determination and leadership qualities were evident within his youth, traits that would later define his coaching career after high school. He pursued higher education in football at Samford University, a pivotal step in his journey. Look at that guy right there. You know, he's just looking to peel somebody's cap or crack back, right?
Absolutely. Downhill. Take a head off.
He can block. As a player at Samford University in Homewood, Alabama, Covington played as a wide receiver for the Division I Football Championship Subdivision FCS Samford Bulldogs from 07 to 10. A 3-year starter, he recorded 62 receptions for 586 yards and 2 touchdowns during his collegiate career. Though not a standout star, Covington's experience on the offensive side of the ball gave him a unique perspective on the game, which he later translated into his defensive coach strategies. His time as a player instilled a deep understanding of teamwork, discipline, and the importance of fundamentals, all of which he emphasized in his coaching approach. Covington graduated from Samford in 2011, ready to transition in the next phase of his football journey. All right, so first-year coaching, Covington's coaching career began in 2012, just a year after graduating from Samford. He when he took on the role of defensive graduate assistant at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, also known as UAB. At UAB, he worked under head coach Garrick McGee, immersing himself in the defensive side of the game. This initial role allowed Covington to develop his coaching acumen, focused on defensive techniques and player development. His time at UAB was a critical learning experience, exposing him to the intricacies of college football coaching and setting the stage for his rapid ascent to the profession, or in the profession, I should say. Covington's ability to connect with players and his keen eye for defensive strategy began to shine, earning him opportunities to advance. Tim, what I love about this is the fact that he was an offensive player, and when you play offense, you can kind of expose weaknesses on the opposing side of the ball, right, and vice versa. I love that he's kind of had a background as a wide receiver, and that molded him into a great defensive coach as he stepped into the coaching ranks. Like, hey, I know what gave us a hard time on offense.
Yep.
That's how you're going to attack it on defense.
Absolutely. I mean, it's kind of like, we had Bob Sala in the facility last year for some input, right? And it's here, that kind of the opposite, a defensive guy who's working with the OC and the offense, trying to give them perspective. So now, you look at Coach Covington and you see that versatility, like you said. So I think it's really cool. I mean, experience is the best teacher, right? So,
yeah. And speaking of experience being the teacher, look at that picture of him and Bill Belichick together on the sideline, man. Like he was like I said, one of those young guys handpicked by Bill. Like, this dude's going to be a star in the league as a coach. Yeah. Covington's coaching journey is marked by a steady climb through the ranks, culminating in his current role with the Green Bay Packers. After his stint at UAB, he served as a defensive graduate assistant at Ole Miss from 2013 to 2014. Working in the competitive Southeastern Conference in 2015, he took on his first-time coaching role as a defensive line coach at the University of Tennessee, Martin. I think that was that picture right here, right? Him working with the defensive line. So he's got a lot of experience at different spots for sure. Followed by a position as co-defensive coordinator and defensive line coach at Eastern Illinois in 2016. These early roles showcase his ability to develop defensive talent and coordinate complex schemes. In 2017, Covington broke into the NFL, joining the New England Patriots as a coaching assistant under legendary head coach Bill Belichick. His versatility and work ethic earned him promotions, first to outside linebackers coach. And keep in mind, outside linebackers coach in that hybrid front or that hybrid defense with Bill Belichick means they have to be able to rush the passer and they got to be able to drop into coverage. They did a whole lot of both. I remember following along with his coaching scheme there throughout that time. Let's see, during this period, he contributed to the Patriots' Super Bowl victory in 2019 and helped the team rank among the NFL's top defenses in multiple categories, including run defense and pressure rate. New England ranked in the top 5 in the NFL in total defense, number 3 at 317.9 yards per game. Passing defense, number 3 in the league at 204.4 yards per game. Yards allowed per game. Number 2 at 5.1 in first downs allowed per game. Number 2 at 18.8 interceptions. Number 2 at 102 in interception percentage. Number 2 at 3.1. And third down defense, they were number 2 at 37%. So really, really were good on third down defense as well there. In 2024, Covington was promoted to defensive coordinator under head coach Gerard Mayo after Mayo's departure and the hiring of Mike Vrabel. Covington was not retained, paving the way for his move to Green Bay. Welcome to Titletown. On January 30th, 2025, the Packers hired Covington to replace Jason Rebrovich, tasking him with elevating the defensive front, featuring players like Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark, Devontae White, and Lucas Van Ness. His reputation as a technician and his ability to maximize player potential have generated optimism in Green Bay, as noted by a former colleague, quote, "If there's ability there, he will find it," suggesting Covington could unlock the pass rushing potential of the Packers' defensive line, which was a weak point in 2024. Additionally, his experience as a defensive coordinator for the 2023 Senior Bowl American team and praise from Bill Belichick highlighted his readiness to contribute to Green Bay's defensive strategy under coordinator Jeff Hafley. So in 2023, he was the Senior Bowl American team defensive coordinator. That's interesting information there, which means at 2023, we'd have to go back a bit. I was wondering there for a second, Tim, if that would have been not Quay Walker, but Edgerrin Cooper's year in 2024. So 2023 probably would have been, I'm trying to think of the defensive players we took that year. We could look at it later. But anyway, so he's got some experience there. DeMarcus Covington's journey from a wide receiver at Samford to a key figure in the NFL coaching landscape is a testament to his dedication and adaptability as he steps into his role with the Packers. Fans and players alike are eager to see how his expertise will shape the team's defensive future. I love the versatility in his coaching style. He's been in that multiple hybrid front, and he's already a defensive line coach. I did not know that. I learned that and putting the article together at UT Martin. So, man, I'll tell you, Tim, if this all of a sudden this defensive front takes a huge step forward this year, it's going to be because of DeMarcus Covington for sure, man.
I agree, and especially like the article saying too about, you know, in the pass rush department, you know, if we take a step forward, it's already a success in my opinion. And I think he's just going to do a better job of just kind of I shouldn't say a better job, a great job of not only you know, teaching technique and, you know, how to do it, but why and what we're trying to accomplish on that defensive front. I think guys really got to know the goal and the mindset behind it before you even worry about any of the technical stuff. So this would be a massive, massive step forward for this defense. You're talking, we could enter top 5 territory if all goes well. If we're good on the front end, the middle, and the back end, it's going to be really tough to move the ball against this Packers D. So I'm all for Coach Covington here. I can't wait to meet him at camp this summer. It's going to be a blast, man, having him in Green Bay. Yeah, and I'm eager to get your camp reports. If you guys are not aware, if you're new here to the channel, if it's your first time watching, hit sub. Feel free to join the party here. And if you want to support the channel in a better way, easier way, I could say, just go to patreon.com/PackerFan Total Access or scan the QR code in the upper right. It's the best way to support the channel. You get a ton of content like this article and Chalk Talks and things that we're uploading there on the daily. So we greatly appreciate that. I'm excited. One thing I was going to say here is when training camp gets kicked off, for those of you who don't know that are new here, Tim will be boots on the ground at training camp, giving us reports and all that good stuff. It's going to be absolutely awesome. So we like to try to go live during some of those training camp practices. Not Tim. We don't want to get him to get thrown out on his head, but we go live with the show and Tim comes back and joins us and we just kind of give you guys updates on training camp there live in Green Bay. So I'm excited to see his demeanor, Tim, because I remember you talking about Reb and some of the other coaches in the past, their coaching style, right? Yeah. I think what you're going to see with Covington, I don't think he's going to be like – I think he'll still be fire on fire, but I think you're going to see more of a technical teaching standpoint as opposed to some of those other guys. If I remember correctly, Coach Reb almost got kicked out a couple times for the language, right? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, right, keep the piss hot, as they say, right? I think you're right. I think that's what we just talked about in this article too. You know, Coach Covington being, you know, from a versatile background, you know, and versatile football background. And I think probably has a pretty versatile coaching style, and he's going to connect with his players in different ways than, you know, any other coach does. And it'll be really cool to kind of see how he handles that group. You know, that's where I always hang out on the south end zone there to watch the defense get their work in. So, it'll be fun to see him work, but I think we'll see a little bit of fire and brimstone. But I think you're right, probably more so a technical X's and O's approach. And again, getting these guys to buy in and understand what we're trying to execute is going to be huge, and it'll be fun to see his style out there.
Yeah, definitely. Greg Rice says, "I love Tim on the scene." Me too, man. There's nothing better than it. 2-0 for this says, "Is Big B allowed at training camp?"
He is. Yes. Yeah. He's good.
He may have an AFA mustache, fake mustache on getting through the gates, but I think he is allowed. Now I got to finally meet Big B at the draft. Tim, you did too. You may have met him before that, I'm sure.
Yeah, I met him a couple of times. Yeah. Good dude.
It was cool running him and Easton Butler and several other people. It was just an awesome experience at the draft. Big B's a legend, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can.
That's the official Packer fan insider right there. Oh, literally breaking news, breaking into camp, you know, whatever you need.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just awesome, dude. It's awesome, all the different personalities around the Packer fandom. You know, like you got the great Matt Ramage, who's just crack open a beer and let's cut up and talk Packers type guy, very light, you know, hearted. You got Ryan Schlip here with Packernet Podcast, who is Mr. Analytics deep dive. He's going to look at things from an analytical standpoint, which I absolutely love. And by the way, if you guys are not, if you're watching on YouTube and you don't know about Packernet Podcast, scan the QR code in the upper right. They'll send you to Packernet Podcast on your favorite platform. Subscribe to that's where you can find this show, but an even better show in the Packernet Podcast over there, as well as Packernet After Dark, which is a call-in show where you can call, leave a voicemail, and kind of give your take on the Green Bay Packers and whatnot. So, yeah, there we go. This is great. United Bates, Ramage calling out of work when hammered at a Packer game is one of my favorite clips of all time. One of my favorites was when he fell. You remember that, Tim? Just like he's recording, walking in the stadium, all of a sudden it's just
Boom.
asshole over elbow, man. The phone goes falling. You can hear people, "Oh, are you okay? Are you okay?" Evidently slipped on some ice at Lambeau. But, yeah, Ramage calling out of work hammered. If you guys haven't seen that, you could probably find it on X.
Yeah.
My man, literally at Lambeau, people recording him calling in sick to work as he shoots another shot right there in the bleachers.
Was that last season? It might have been from last year or the year before, maybe.
Yeah. I know we had the podcast going, so it was definitely within the last couple of years.
For
It was
sure.
absolutely. See, y'all got me wanting to look it up here live on the show, but we're out of time. We need to get that teed up and get approval from Ram. We need to get Ramage back on the show is what we need to do. We need to have him in here just for a 15-minute segment to make us laugh a little bit. That dude's
Absolutely. It's all football's more fun around people like Matt Ramage. You bump into that guy within 5 minutes, you're laughing and having a good time and just enjoying being a Packer fan. That's who Ramage is, man. It'd be nice to get him back on, Clay. We should make that happen.
Yeah, because I've never seen him or heard him say one negative thing about anybody. It's just, I mean, he's just one of those dudes that he's just upbeat, positive. He's here to have a good time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's his line. You know what I mean? I may be. What was it he always says about? I may be a little drunk. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Oh, I'm a bit buzzed up. That's
it.
That's his.
I'm a bit buzzed up. So
No, Ramage is awesome, man. He's a good reminder that you don't have to take everything so serious all the time, man. You got to have fun. Stay positive and have fun. He is a ride or die for the Green Bay Packers, and I wish we had more fans like him in the fan base for sure.
Yeah, 2-0 for this he says negative things about Bear fans. Yeah, so does Jesus. You know what I mean? Everybody's got something negative to say about Bears fans. Which, by the way, Tim, I roasted one on Twitter earlier today. I don't know if you've seen it or not. This poor guy, he didn't know what he stepped on.
I'll be sure to check it. I'm playing catch up on the feeds right now, but yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, he's in hiding right now. I'm almost positive, man. My man, here we go. Actually, I've got it right here. Let's pull it up here. Let's have poke a little fun at the Bears fans. This dude just jumped in the mentions. You guys know I don't start these conversations with people. They knock on the door and we answer though. He had tweeted back at me and said, you were probably like 10 years old the last time the Packers won anything. LMFAO. Keep living in the past, my dude. And I said, I was 28 years old when the Packers won the last Super Bowl. How old were you when the Bears won in 1985? He went missing, Tim. I'm going to have to put his profile pic on a milk carton, bro. He just disappeared.
It's so funny to see a Bears fan accuse a Packer fan of living in the past.
Oh, yeah. I love it. I still haven't been able to get him to answer the question, and I've been following him around the rest of the day. I'm finding him replying to other tweets, and he just can't seem to answer that question for me, Tim. So,
you can't handle the truth.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. So, all right, guys. We're out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us. If you would, hit that like button on the way out. Feel free to sub to the channel. Also, check out the Patreon community. It's the best way to support the show. And give us feedback, man. We're always looking to try to give you guys more value, more bang for your buck, all that good stuff. And again, $3 a month gets you access to everything over at Patreon. And we greatly appreciate everybody supporting the show. We are back live on Rumble, so we'll be ready to do the Chalk Talk tomorrow if no other news breaks. We got several Chalk Talks in the hopper ready to go. We're going to break down the tape of some of these rookies. So we wanted to wait till we were back up on Rumble. They got the problem fixed. It was just something technical on their end, link in the StreamYard. And that way we can stay live on Rumble when we end the stream on YouTube to do the – I really like what we're doing there, Tim. That's been a great workaround where we can keep the live crowd involved, but also later on we end up posting those on YouTube as a separate video, so you guys will get them eventually. But it's cool to have everybody's live reaction in the Rumble group there when we do Chalk Talk. So anything else, buddy? You good?
No, just happy to be here. Thanks for having me again. Looking forward to talking some more ball tomorrow. Be back at it, man.
That's 2-0 for this says, is this show sponsored by Hoover? Because it sucks. Yes, it does. And if you don't believe me, hang around. It gets worse. All right. Now, appreciate everybody in the chat. You guys were awesome. Thank y'all so much for your support. As always, man, let's go out there and be the change we want to see in the world. And everybody on the podcast, I don't say this enough, you're the lifeblood of what we do. Thank y'all for listening on the daily. The numbers are always up. And we greatly, greatly appreciate you guys. And obviously, Ryan giving us the podcast platform there at Packernet Podcast.